You know my views on Keir Starmer. I think having a human rights lawyer in charge of our country is, frankly, it's like having a fox in charge of the chicken coop, given the way we've gone post-war.
Restore Britain was originally established as a pressure group, but Mr Lowe has expanded his ambitions and seems ready to compete with his former party for a position on the right side of British politics. In the latest Find Out Now poll, Lowe's new organisation has made its debut with a support level of 7%. The policies of Restore Britain are distinctly nationalist and socially conservative, bordering on far right, as the party appears intent on directly contesting the direction of Reform UK. Lowe is anticipated to run again for the Great Yarmouth constituency.
Every week we hear of a brutal murder, rape or stabbing, far too often perpetrated by someone who should not be in our country to begin with. Does the Prime Minister agree that for cases where the guilt is so undeniable, the crime so monstrous, the evil so irredeemable, the reintroduction of the death penalty for both foreign and domestic criminals should be put to the British people in a legally binding referendum?
Any attack is to be condemned, and it is absolutely right, and we're determined that there is a criminal justice response in relation to attack, however it's carried out and whoever it's carried out by. But reintroducing the death penalty is not the answer to this. It didn't work when it was in place. It led to the death of those that, in fact, what turned out were innocent.
Alongside the local party, Great Yarmouth First, which will collaborate with Restore Britain. As of February 23rd, Restore Britain has 12 councillors in the UK, with Lowe being the only Member of Parliament. Despite this new contender on the right, Farage's Reform UK continues to maintain a significant lead in the polls. Should a general election occur soon, Reform UK is projected to receive 25% of the vote, according to the survey. Although Labour was elected with a substantial 170-seat majority, just 18 months ago they have now fallen to a tied third place in the polls.
Not just the ECHR, there's various other sort of treaties that we've got to exit. We've got to basically take back control of our own borders. We have to declare a national emergency, rather like Trump's doing. And we have to then, be actually prepared to take hard decisions and deport. And I mean, if it means we have to round people up and deport them, that's what we have to do. If they're here illegally, Matt, they shouldn't be here. The Australians have shown us what to do. You only have to look. They stop the boats coming, and then people realise it's a waste of time spending whatever it is, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 euros to get here. They don't waste their money. They don't come here. We solve that problem, and then we start.
I have had enough of lectures from self-appointed champions of working people who want to shred our public service, level down workers' rights, crash the economy like Liz Truss. Politicians who lied to this country, unleashed chaos and walked away after Brexit, who equivocate of Putin in Ukraine, who even now go to America and grub around for money, talking this great country down. No more lectures from them. Because Labour is the party for working people. Labour is the party for national renewal.
The Prime Minister's party is expected to secure only 16% of the vote in a potential election, the same percentage as Kemi Badenoch's Conservatives. Both parties would be outperformed in vote share by Zach Polanski's Green Party, which has recorded 18% support. Find Out Now conducted a poll with a representative sample of 3,029 UK adults to reach these conclusions. The polling results are promising for both Reform UK and the Greens ahead of the Gordon and Denton by-election on Thursday. The analysts have suggested that if Labour loses the seat previously held by Andrew Gwynn, who stepped down due to health issues, it could prompt a leadership challenge against Sir Keir Starmer.
Highlighting the consequences of the war that he said we should rush into. He wanted us to go to war.
Isn't it time we changed course, got rid of excessive taxation on the exploration companies, opened up the licences, became self-sufficient in natural gas, and with that would come thousands of jobs, increased tax revenues and cheaper gas prices. Isn't it time we followed Norway?
He said it was perfectly clear that we should support the strikes. Then, just like the Leader of the Opposition, a week later, he said, oh, no, I got that one wrong.
A YouGov survey of 2,384 UK adults indicated that 24% would support Nigel Farage's party in the next general election, while 19% would vote for Labour and 18% for the Conservatives. 17% of respondents indicated they would back Zach Polanski's Green Party, with 13% supporting the Liberal Democrats. These figures, part of YouGov's voting intention tracker, were gathered between February 15th and 16th.
What the hell is the Prime Minister going on about? We're talking about illegal immigration. He wasn't given visas. He just said we've got to look at visas, which means what he's really saying is we'll open up legal routes to Eritrea. We'll open up legal routes to Afghanistan. This man hasn't got a clue. He literally hasn't got a clue. He is wedded to a human rights agenda. His second speech as Prime Minister in the House of Commons praised the ECHR, under which our judges are powerless to deport most people here, including even those suspected of terrorism.
In comparison, Reform UK received 27% support in the previous week's poll. Bookmakers have reported that the right-wing party is no longer the favourite to win the 2029 general election. Ladbrokes Politics announced on X that for the first time since May the 2025, Reform UK is no longer the front runner to secure the most seats in the upcoming general election. Labour is currently favoured with odds of 13/8 to retain control of Westminster, followed by Reform at 7/4, the Conservatives at 11/2, and the Greens at 8 to 11.
It makes it look easy dealing with illegal migration. You must be envious of his record in such a short period of time.
Well, I think we've been discussing irregular, illegal migration is a huge issue in both of our countries. In the United Kingdom, it is a real cause for concern, and that's why we must bear down on it in all its aspects, upstream, across Europe, where a lot of ours comes into through northern France, across the Channel, working with our allies, with our colleagues to break the gangs that are actually running this trade.
Reform UK may encounter competition from its right side, particularly from Rupert Lowe's newly established Restore Britain. Lowe, a former Reform MP who left the party last year, has asserted that anti-white racism is prevalent in the UK and has called for the mass deportation of illegal immigrants. He has also proposed banning the burqa and dismantling the entire asylum system. Yesterday, he claimed that his party has surpassed 60,000 members. Next week, Reform, Labour and the Greens will compete in the Gorton and Denton by-election, which is expected to serve as a significant indicator of the political landscape. Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham attempted to run for the seat, but was blocked by allies of Keir Starmer on Labour's National Executive Committee. A victory for Reform could jeopardise Starmer's leadership, while a win for the Greens would significantly bolster their status as a credible political entity. According to a new poll, Rachel Reeves, Ed Miliband and Yvette Cooper are projected to lose their seats in the next election due to rising support for the Greens. Nigel Farage's Reform UK is expected to become the largest party with 324 MPs. The study by More in Common indicates that Zach Polanski's far-left party will secure 22 seats. A further complicating matters for Keir Starmer's party as it faces challenges from both the left and right. The poll suggests that key figures such as Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Energy Secretary Ed Miliband, Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper, Defence Secretary John Healey and Chief Whip Jonathan Reynolds will be defeated by Reform UK candidates. Additionally, Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister Darren Jones, Business Secretary Peter Kyle and Northern Ireland Secretary Hilary Benn are expected to lose to the Greens. Angela Rayner, a prominent Labour figure, is also predicted to lose to Reform, according to Luke Trial from More in Common. Labour is projected to lose 310 seats, leaving them with just 101. Kemi Badenoch's Conservative Party is also expected to lose 40 seats, resulting in 81 remaining in Parliament. A Reform UK is anticipated to win 324 seats, while the Greens will secure 22. The Liberal Democrats are projected to lose 10 seats, leaving them with 62. Farage stated that a significant defeat at the ballot box would make it virtually impossible for the Prime Minister to maintain his position. Chancellor Rachel Reeves has faced accusations of cashing in on the current crisis in petrol and diesel prices as the Liberal Democrats propose a motion to reduce fuel duty rates. The Labour government is facing criticism from opposition parties due to the rising prices of petrol and diesel amid ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iran has led to skyrocketing fuel costs, with petrol averaging 158.16 pence per litre and diesel reaching an astonishing 191.31 pence per litre. Today, the Liberal Democrats will propose a motion to reduce fuel duty in order to assist drivers as Parliament reconvenes after the Easter break. This motion will advocate for an immediate 10 pence reduction in fuel duty, as new analysis indicates that the Treasury is expected to collect nearly £500 million in additional tax revenue in the coming weeks. In response, the Lib Dems are urging the Chancellor to utilise the revenue generated from the Energy Profits Levy to lower fuel duty, warning that failure to do so could lead to repercussions at the polls on May 7th. Daisy Cooper, the Lib Dems Treasury spokesperson, stated, "Rising pump prices are putting financial strain on people who are already struggling."
True democracy is citizen-led. Politics needs an update. We demand a people's house. We demand a people's house. We are in crisis. We are in crisis. Our whole future is in...
Well, it is profoundly unjust for the Treasury to profit from millions in extra tax revenue while families are feeling the pressure and small businesses are at risk. The Lib Dems estimate that a 10 pence reduction in fuel duty would save the average driver 12 pence per litre at the pump, including VAT. As petrol and diesel prices continue to climb, particularly in light of President Donald Trump's threats against Iran, this change could help motorists save £6.60 on a typical 55-litre tank. The party is also urging the government to implement new transport initiatives such as capping bus fares at £1 and reducing rail fares by 10%. While Brent crude oil prices fell below $100.74 last week, they have since risen to approximately $102.76 due to escalating tensions between the US and Iran. Experts have warned that petrol and diesel prices could reach their highest levels ever, similar to those seen in the summer of 2022 following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In response to rising prices, the government had previously cut fuel duty by 5 pence per litre, a measure that Labour is expected to reverse between September and March next year. GB News has compiled a list of the highest petrol and diesel prices across the UK over the weekend, using data from the government's Fuel Finder tool. Additionally, Rachel Reeves is set to impose a significant £2,200 charge on certain motorists in 2026, with new changes taking effect this April. New vehicle excise duty (VED) car tax bans were introduced on April 1st, resulting in increased fees for many petrol, diesel and electric vehicle owners. A significant update pertains to the expensive car supplement, ECS fees, which will see an increase of £15 per year starting in 2026. The ECS is a luxury car tax that adds an annual fee on top of the existing vehicle excise duty, VED. Petrol and diesel vehicles registered on or after April 1st, 2017, with a value exceeding £40,000 are subject to this fee, while the threshold for electric vehicles is set at £50,000. The ECS fee was previously £425 per year, but has been raised to £440 annually from April due to inflation adjustments. Motorists will pay the ECS fees over a 5-year period, specifically between the 2nd and 6th years of a vehicle's life, totalling £2,200 over that time frame. This represents a £75 increase from the previous total of £2,125 that drivers paid last year. Unlike many other charges, the ECS tax is linked to the vehicle registration rather than the owner, meaning that the fees will transfer to new owners. Consequently, individuals purchasing a second-hand car registered within the last 6 years may find themselves responsible for part of this charge. In preparation for the upcoming tax year, officials have decided to raise the ECS threshold for electric vehicles from £40,000 to £50,000. This change means that numerous vehicles, including popular electric models from Polestar and Tesla, will no longer be subject to the ECS fee. HM Revenue and Customs, HMRC, has indicated that this policy is expected to result in a £50 million loss in revenue for the Treasury this year, NHMRC clarified. Zero-emission vehicles with a list price exceeding £40,000 but not surpassing £50,000 will no longer be required to pay the ECS charge when they obtain a licence effective on or after April 1st, 2026, provided it is not their first vehicle licence. The threshold will remain at £40,000 for all other vehicles,